Hello, my name is Mara and welcome to Books Like Whoa. Okay, so it's about that time. I do unhaul routinely on this channel because Mama gets a lot of books and Mama doesn't want to be living like a hoarder with books just everywhere. I mean, I do this in every video. I say that and I'm like, I would kind of love that, but you know, the practical side of me takes over and knows that that is a fire hazard, so I therefore force myself to get rid of books. Though, honestly, it's something I find very cathartic and enjoy doing. I like kind of having the feeling of accomplishment of like, yeah, I've gotten what I want to out of this book and it's time to let it go. Either I've acknowledged to myself I'm never going to read it, I have read it but don't need to hold on to it, whatever. There's a lot of different use cases we'll get into. And I decided today that I'm going to mix it up a little bit and we are going to go by book format. So I'm not going by like why I'm getting rid of it, I'm going by mass market, soft cover, hardcover. So let's start with the mass markets and move from there. So if you watch my channel, you know that I, like on principle, don't hold on to mass markets. I get them from the used bookstore, and then when I'm done with them, I take them back. I essentially look at it as sort of like extended library loans. In terms of how I did with these specific titles, two of them I did not read or did not enjoy, and that would be Blue Dahlia from Nora Roberts. Once I actually started into it, I realized that there was like a paranormal element, and I've just realized that like paranormal Noras, or paranoras as they are referred to, are not my favorite. There's so many other things I want to read that I'm like, I just don't want to spend the time on this, so I DNF'd this. I also sadly DNF'd this one, Crime and Poetry by Amanda Flower. I'd gotten this as a recommendation for a cozy from The Quartagonist and Bree Hill, and this one just tonally didn't work for me. I got about 50 pages in and was like, I'm not really enjoying this. So both of these I DNF'd. And so they're going away for that reason. And then these are three that I read and pretty much enjoyed. I'd say the Nora Roberts was the one I enjoyed the least of these, but both of these Laura Griffins I really liked. I just don't hold on to mass markets, so that is why they're going back to the used bookstore. Okay, and then moving into my paperback slash soft covers, these are 4 books that I converted from a physical form into an ebook form. So Graham Greene's 21 Stories. Recently I've converted pretty much all, like damn near all of my Graham Greenes into e-form, just because there's not a lot of hardback Graham Greenes, and that's honestly the format I would prefer to have these kinds of books in. So I converted most of them to ebooks. I got The Aspects of the Novel by E.M. Forster, which I have never actually finished, but have enjoyed what I've read of it. I converted this into an ebook. Same for The Mind of the Maker. That is one that I've actually finished. It's sort of about imagination in the light of a Christian philosophy by Dorothy Sayers. Definitely an interesting book. Yeah, I converted this to ebook. And then Girl of Fire and Thorns by Ray Carson. This went on sale, I think, for $1.99 as an ebook, and I was like, yeah, I'd probably prefer to have it as an ebook as opposed to a paperback. So all these are conversion picks for me. Another type of a conversion pick is Johannes CABAL the Detective. This is one of my all-time favorite books, so you might be wondering why I'm getting rid of it. I'm getting rid of it because I found the hardback at my used bookstore last month and it matches the other hardbacks that I have in this series. So yeah, now I will have the series matching in hardback, which was the only reason why I'm getting rid of this. Like I said, this is an all-time favorite book for me, so no shade on it. I'm happy to put it into circulation at the used bookstore. And then 4 paperbacks that I am getting rid of essentially because I have gotten what I need to from them and now I am ready to release them back into the wild. The first 2 are Curvy Yoga and Everybody Yoga. Basically, if you, okay, like real talk, if you are like me and you have like real big boobs, certain poses in yoga are really challenging, and like whatever in a class, it's a little hard to get the instruction I need sometimes, or I don't feel like stopping everything, whatever. I just wanted to have like a reference to give me some pointers about thoughts about how to get around that. So I appreciate them giving me some thoughts about that. Man as Male and Female by Paul Jewett. This is a formative text in feminist literary biblical studies, basically. So thinking about the idea of man as being more human than male. This came out, I think, in either the 60s or the 70s originally. It was a very formative text. I thank you, Paul Jewett, for your contributions to the field. I've taken notes from this for something that I might want to do in the future in terms of like nonfiction writing. So thanks for that, but I don't need to hold on to it. And then similarly, Out of the Garden, Women Writers on the Bible. This is another sort of like feminist biblical interpretation thing. I read the essays in this that I wanted to, and now again, it's time to release it back into the wild. And then one paperback that I'm finally just admitting to myself that I just don't think I'm gonna read, and that is Sex, Economy, Freedom, and Community by Wendell Berry. I got this at Borders when I worked at Borders, so that was a long time ago. I've tried to read this a few times and just always sort of crap out with it, and it's available at my library. If I decide that I really want to read it, I can, but like this should be a library book and not a on my shelf book is sort of just the conclusion I've come to. This is like one of those books that represents like a possible version of myself that reads and loves Wendell that just hasn't materialized yet. So, you know, I did read an essay from this for something that I had to do in grad school, so like I did read something in it, right? Like not a total waste of money. Okay, and then finally we get to the hardback. So let's start with the category of read and don't need to hold on to because didn't particularly enjoy. First was Roseblood by A.J. Howard. You guys saw my whole reading vlog about why this is not a very good book, why I didn't enjoy it, and why I do think it's better than Twilight, but still not very good. So it can go away, even though this cover is like legit a beautiful sort of like YA fantasy type cover. It's going away. And then We Were Liars by E. Lockhart. This is a YA mystery thriller. Like it's kind of it gets referred to a lot as one of like the better ones in the genre. It was fine. I think I gave this a 3-star. It was okay. It wasn't great. I think for adult readers, you'll see the twist coming pretty much as soon as it's set up. And yeah, I don't know. It was an interesting book, but I don't need to hold on to it because I did not particularly enjoy it, so it's going away. And then I have 3 conversion books here. 3 conversion books. So the first is Don Quixote in this very nice edition, but I recently got the Penguin clothbound edition, so I didn't really feel the need to hold on to 2 copies. I'm a little sad because I remember getting this from a friend of mine actually in middle school as a gift, but you know, I've held on to it for 15 years, so I feel like I did justice to the gift, but now it's time to let it go. And then I am actually waiting right now for a new copy of the Moonstone to come to me because it went on a little bit of a sale on Amazon, so I decided to go ahead and get it in the Everyman's Library edition, which is what I have been collecting my classics in that don't come in a Penguin clothbound edition. So basically this is just conversion. And then this is one of my all-time favorite like historical-ish type mysteries, The Club DUMAS by Arturo Perez Reverte. Actually, shout out to Arturo Perez Reverte. If you like mysteries set in the present day, but with a lot of like historical elements, often like secret society type elements, definitely think that he is a great choice for that. And The Club DUMAS is my favorite of his that I have read, but I got this as an ebook, so I don't need to hold on to the hardback. And yeah, so both of these are staying in my collection, just in a different form. And then finally, 3 books that I have not read and am just getting rid of, one of which I do have plans to read still, just I don't need the form that I have. So I'm getting rid of both Sugar Crush and the Carnivore'S Manifesto. I got these back when I was first like reading a lot about like keto adjacent things, sugar elimination stuff. I just don't really feel the need to read either of these at this point. I think actually both of them are at the library if the urge strikes, but don't feel like I need to hold on to these. And then Team of Rivals by Doris, Kearnes, Goodwin. I have every intention of reading this. I just think I bought this because I was like, oh, if I have a copy of it, I'll be more likely to get to it sooner. But increasingly this year, I have my finding is that I really prefer nonfiction in general to be on audio. And I think especially for something this long, I would want that to be an audio, so I don't think that this is a productive way for me to get to it. So I would rather wait online at the library to get it as an audiobook and listen to it that way. So yeah, that is my little unhaul for fall. Not like the craziest unhaul I've ever had, but definitely one that, you know, I consider unhauls to be sort of a part of good book collection maintenance, so something that I was gonna do anyway, and I will be happy to get some trade for these at the used bookstore. So yeah, I think that will do it. So if you enjoyed this video, please like, subscribe, follow me on the social medias if you are so inclined. I have all that information listed in the description box below, and I think that will do it. I hope you're having a really lovely day, and I will just talk to you soon. Bye!